أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Asif Ali Parvez, and this is my presentation number 25. And as always, it is about Holy Quran and science. That is, today I will talk about the laser which are produced by visible light. So first of all, I want to turn to Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور. All praise belongs to Allah, who created the heavens and the earth and brought into being every kind of darkness and light. Surah Al-An'am, verse 2. So what are the key points? All praise belongs to Allah, who created heavens, earth, every kind of darkness and light. And today I will talk about some of the application of light. Now this is the light spectrum which I have shown you before. This is slightly different picture, but basically because I want to focus on the visible light, so I have chosen another picture which is focusing on the light as well. Now, what does laser stand for? Laser stand for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. A very mouthful phrase, but I will describe you the principle of it. And as you can see from the picture, ordinary light is then converted into very powerful beam. So laser was built in 1960, so roughly 80 years ago. And its principle is relatively simple. And again, I'm not going into too much technical details, otherwise you may be lost. But what we do, we take a beam of light and we energize it. Now, there are many techniques to energize this. One is by pointing light on it. One is by putting it under electric field. So there are many ways. The result is that the energy of the ordinary light is increased. And then this light bounces back between the mirrors. And by bouncing back between the mirror, its intensity gets more and more and more and more. And basically, there are three types of light, color light, which can be produced. One is red, one is green, one is blue. In fact, these are three colors are called as primary colors. Yeah, three are primary colors. What does that mean? That by combination of these three colors, you can produce any color. You can produce yellow, you can produce, any other color you like. So these are basically the three fundamental colors which are, and laser obviously produces all of these three colors. Now, what are the uses of the laser? Because that's important, how mechanics happens. I'm sure if you're not an engineer or scientist, you don't need to worry about too much. But you can again go back to internet or watch some, YouTube. You could learn more about it if you are an engineer. But what are its uses? That is more important, for a layman. Now it is widely used in the computer industry. So your disk drive, disk, on which a lot of data is recorded, that can use laser is used, to store the data and to read the data. And there are laser printers, which I have got one. It's very common used in industry. Quality is absolutely fantastic, whether it's black and white or colored. Much better than ordinary type of printers, inkjet printers, others. So laser, the print quality is brilliant. Then there are scanners used. You might have gone to a shopping center and they use, the scan barcode and they read it and, they say, okay, cost so much, this and that. And That's where laser is used as well. And in fiber optics, and I will have another slide which will explain what does fiber optics mean. Basically, this is a method of transmitting the data. Now, there are so many uses that list could be very, very long. I've just picked few of them. So because they are very strong, literally you can cut the metal. So even thick metal like this, you put the laser torch on it, it will literally cut it as knife is going through a butter. So it can do that. And if you are in the business of manufacturing clothes, so rather than cutting individual clothes with scissors, what they do is stack the clothes, say 100 sets of clothes, pass the laser light around it, and in one go it cuts all of them. So it's okay. And because it's very precision is brilliant. No way scissors can compare with the laser light. So that means the clothes which are cut are very, very precise. Then you can use it by marking and etching on things, so labeling things. This is that. On the car engines, for example, they etch it and they use the laser for that. And it's also used for welding. So this picture as I'm showing you, here is a robot basically, and this robot is using the laser to weld the car. So wonderful use of in the car industry. Then you can use it for drilling purposes because of its strength, melting, soldering, you name it. There's so many uses. In fact, laser is probably one of the most common tool used in the industry. And laser have a very good use in the medical industry as well. So for example, it is used in dermatology, which is related with skin. So if it's skin cancer, you can literally burn those cells, using the laser. In dentistry, when you go for a dental treatment, they use in the cardiology for heart treatment, neurosurgery, even for brain tumors, and to do some kind of surgery. Again, laser light is used. And the picture I'm showing is the one of the most common uses in the eye operation. So if the cornea has to be adjusted, you use the laser, and a surgeon can do whatever is to do. So he doesn't need to use the knife, which we are doing. And as I said, the advantage is it's very precise. Now, there is a very big use of laser in military. You might have heard the name smart bombs, and they were used in the Iraq War, and this is now technology which is used all the time. And because normally when the bomber drops the bomb, it's hit and miss. Obviously they have some pilots have a good guess at what point they should drop the bomb so the bomb hits the target. And often, I remember I was in Pakistan when the 1971 war was going on, and Sargodha was the very big airport. So in Rabwa, we could actually watch those bombs falling down, and from the ground they were attacking. But nowadays that technology is very old because a lot of bombs are simply wasted. So what they do in principle, here is a laser. So a laser shines on the subject, say like radar in the airport, which they want to destroy, or standing aircrafts or whatever. So it locks onto that target, and then bombs are dropped, and they are guided by these lasers, and they exactly go and hit their target. So very little wastage. Now, one of practical use, I don't particularly like wars, so to me, obviously that's a use. I can't deny that, but it's one big use of good use of laser was that when the astronauts went on moon, they left a special mirror of the moon. Here is that mirror, and what they do from the ground, they shine the laser onto that mirror. So this mirror, like ordinary mirror, it reflects, like you can see your face. So that mirror also reflects this light, and when this reflect comes back, there are devices who recognize that, and by doing a simple mathematics, they can calculate what is the distance between moon and the earth. And here is 384,400 kilometers is the distance. But the interesting thing is this, that they discovered the moon is drifting away at a very, very slow pace. only 3.8 centimeters per year. So it's tiny, tiny. But having said that, this is a discovery which has been made by the use of laser technology, because as I said, laser is very precise. Now, it is now one thing I want to explain to you, and it's a little bit technical. When we take photographs of celestial bodies, like say moon or sun or whatever, one of the problem which scientists face is when the light from say from moon or the sun comes to the earth, because earth has an atmosphere, so this light is diffracted. So it doesn't give that clear image which the scientists want to have it. So they have come up with a wonderful technology, and I hope I can explain it. What they do, they fire, here I could see one, two, three, four beams of laser are fired up there. So these goes up there, say, I'm just making numbers, say for 50 miles above the earth. And over there they meet. And they make what we scientists called as a star, a guided star. So it builds an artificial star. And then this light reflects back, comes to earth. Now that's the important part. When it comes to earth, then it also goes diffracted through the atmosphere. So scientists work out how much diffraction has taken place to the light. And it's all computer controlled, I must say that. So now imagine the light is coming from, let's say, from the sun. So when it comes into the atmosphere, it is diffracted. But now they know, or there are clever people who have written computer program. So computer know what should I do now to make the image very clean. And the image becomes very, very clear. And this is the picture which I'm showing you. This is a observatory in Chile, high mountains, and it is Paranal Observatory, it's called. So it's a wonderful use of laser technology, very genius way of using laser technology. And it is called, books if you read it, called corrective optics. Now, laser is used in communication. The internet, for example, which you get in your house, certainly in London where I live, UK. Oh, it's not anymore, these copper wires coming to your house. It's all fiber optics, fiber wires. So what it is it's a wire like this. It could be any color. Mine came to our house because they dug our garden too late, and I was watching them. Mine was yellow color, but color is not important. Important thing is that within this casing there are like a bundle of wires. So it's not just one. There are bundles of wire in it, and they literally can from street to street they come to everybody's house, and certainly in London everybody have got fiber optics, and it is reasonably cheap, and it's very easy to deploy, and it is up to 100 times faster than the radio waves. And that's why, as I said, in London, virtually everything have gone into fiber optics. In fact, most of developed countries, it's all fiber optics. It's very reliable and it's very cheap, and maintenance is virtually nil. Now, laser has another big use in the two-way communication in space. So between satellites, engineers communicate using this. And only a year ago, a link was established between International Space and this ISS, which is flying, a few hundred miles above. This is one of the best laboratory which we have in space, and scientists and astronauts go there and do lots of experiment. International Space Station, it is called. It's manned all the time. There are 4 or 5 astronaut. Inshallah, I will make a program about this at some stage. So the link has been established between the ISS and the ground station using laser. And the big companies like, know these names, Google, Facebook, they are heavily investing because they handle a lot of volume of data. So they are investing their money into laser technology, and that how laser could help to transfer this data, and because it's very accurate data. Now lasers are used in the shows as well. The musical shows, many I've seen happening in London, and they use these laser lights as a bit of fun. And when new products are introduced, there's a promotion, and laser lights are used. I remember when A380 was launched, there was a massive promotion using laser lights because it's colorful light, so it makes more interesting. And I remember, I think it was 1980 or something around that, in central London, in UK, they had on New Year's, they had big beams of laser lights. That's the only time which they used it. And it's used in the holograms as well. Holograms is like a 3D pictures. Once I went to Singapore, and there they were showing a show in which these 3D, you know, they were not artists as such. They were all pictures made by the lasers. But when you looked at a distance, they looked like artists or actors, doing whatever they were doing. So holograms is used as well. Now, this is another area where scientists are doing research that can we use laser to make artificial rain? Obviously, it's very expensive at this moment in time. So I don't think there is any commercial use at this point in time. But, research is going on that can we, if the clouds are there, can we shine laser on it, and then those clouds will turn into rain. If that technology becomes cheap enough, economical, then, that means uh, those areas which don't get much rain and they are agriculture areas, then we can use this technology. So laser have lots of uses. So I should say that lasers are used, and I have already shown that lasers are used for the eye operation. So it's about time we learn about eye. I must say, eye is a great blessing. Ask somebody who is blind, and then you realize that we who have got good eyesight, how lucky we are, how lucky. So inshallah, I shall be explaining a little bit more detail how the eye works. Thank you very much for listening to me. Jazakallah khair. God bless you. Wa akhiru da'wana. And alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.